President Muhammadu Buhari attends the Dakar International Conference in Agriculture. ABDULSALAMI ABUBAKAR advises the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, OMOYELE, SOWORE, to face the realities of the new order and forget about June 12 election. Uganda to start drilling first oil well in the KINGFISHER oil field. Hoped by 2025, the first barrels of oil will be pumped out. And in sports, Frank Lampard was fired by Everton and is no longer the head coach of the club. And this is MLC TV Global News, reaching you live from the city of Lokoja, the confluent state of Nigeria. I am Morno Balagubo. Thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari departed Lagos on Tuesday for Dakar, Senegal, to attend the second edition of the Dakar International Conference on Agriculture. This is the president's second visit to the West African country in 6 months. It will also be his second foreign trip in 2023. In July 2022, Buhari joined other African leaders in the Senegal for the International Development Association for Africa Summit, which led to an outcome document, the Dakar Declaration. The time he is attending the high-level Dakar 2 Summit, hosted by President Macky Sall of Senegal, which the chairperson of the African Union is holding under the theme Feeding Africa, Food Sovereignty and Resilience. According to a statement signed on Monday by the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the conference is convened jointly by the government of Senegal and the African Development Bank. The Lagos state government has said the use of electronic commerce will boost the growth of micro, small and medium enterprises. According to a statement on Monday, the State Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, Dr. Lola Akonde, disclosed this when she received the representatives of Brandtel Nigeria on a courtesy visit to the ministry. Akonde, who was represented by the ministry's permanent secretary, Adetutu Ososaya, added that the ministry will encourage the group in its efforts to develop products hub to ensure valuable results. She commended BTN for the visit and the initiative to empower their members through training in digital skills. Businesses must harness the benefits of digital platforms. The leader of BTN, Adenike Fagbemi, stated that the group teaches business owners how to maximize the use of media platforms and social media for their benefit. The Stand Up for Women Society has welcomed its new international members from other African nations. The president, Barrister Deborah Ijedele Adetona, in her welcome address made public by her National Public Relations Officer, Bilun Wogu, said the new executive members were officially inducted into the association have proven beyond doubt that they will uphold the tenets of the association. Ijedele Adetona charged them to demonstrate the character which the SWS stands for and to ensure they support their country's governments to build a society where women will be relevant and bold to defend their rights. The new executives inducted are from Sierra Leone, Uganda, Liberia and Namibia. Others are Zambia, Cameroon, Kenya, Ghana, South Africa and Gambia. And now to stories in politics. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has promised the Niger Delta people that his administration will dissolve powers from the center and restructure Nigeria if elected. Atiku, who spoke at the campaign rally of the PDP in Yenogua, Bayelsa State on Monday, noted that the people of the region had been clamoring for resource control and the restructuring of the country and that his government, when elected, will accede to their demands. He reiterated the implementation of his 5-point developmental agenda for the nation, which he listed as the unification of the country, tackling insecurity, the economy, and ending the strike in universities and restructuring. The Asiwaju Shetima Presidential Campaign Council received with amusement the hasty resignation of Najatu Mohammed from her position as Director of Civil Society Organizations just before she was sacked for incompetence, quarrelsomeness and after being uncovered to be a mole planted in their winning campaign in order to leak sensitive information to their desperate opponents. Although she deceived the gullible public by claiming that she resigned, her sack letter with ignominy from the campaign and the party had just arrived at her desk. Her desperate fact-free machination-filled and imaginary utterances since her sack from the campaign had proved beyond doubt that she was unfit to serve in the first place until it was discovered that she was actually a mole. Ajatu claimed that when she asked Asiwaju what plans he had for the North, had answered that he had none. This is strange and questions the integrity of women and her story, she said. Asiwaju had unfolded an action plan for the whole country in which problems bedeviling in the North got very comprehensive attention. Asiwaju also attended the Arewa Summit last year, at which he unfolded and elaborated on these programs. Now, Jatu said in her preemptive resignation letter that she was quitting party politics as the political parties had no ideological differences and her values and beliefs no longer align with the political party. She therefore urged their supporters all over the country to ignore the antics of this political soldier of fortune and concentrate on the job of delivering the Tinubu-Shettima ticket at the polls in barely a month from now. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, on Monday took to his campaign to Katsina State, where he promised to tackle hunger, insecurity and unemployment, amongst others. He spoke while addressing party members and supporters at the MUHAMMADU Stadium, Katsina. Obi and his campaign team, including his running mate Dati Baba Ahmed, told the crowd that they were ready to serve the country with all the strength in them if elected. He promised to fulfill all his promises to Nigerians, insisting that electorates should have faith in him and his party to further develop the country. He said that people through them had chosen to build a new Nigeria, and when they have security, the borders will be open, and theirs is to sack poverty in Nigeria. They cannot fight poverty without opening their borders, but they shall put in place adequate security first. The presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, has promised that the success recorded in Kano when he was the governor will be replicated in Nigeria if elected president. Kwankwaso stated this in Abuja on Monday during the second presidential town hall meeting organized by the Department of Political Science of the University of Abuja. He lamented that Nigeria was facing a serious crisis in the education sector from primary to tertiary education levels, noting that the All Progressive Congress and People's Democratic Party had failed Nigerians. He noted that the issue of education was critical and his administration will address it squarely. Former Nigerian head of state ABDULSALAMI ABUBAKAR has advised the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, OMOYELE, to face the realities of the new order and forget about June 12 election, which was annulled over 20 years ago. Abubakar said the grouse SOWORE has maintained over the annulment could distract him from the upcoming election. The advice was given during the signing of the second peace accord in Abuja. However, in his response, the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, OMOYELE, said he is angry with military officers who were behind the unfortunate situation at the time. We're now going to a short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Remember, February 2023 is the general election where you will have the opportunity to elect a new president, governors, national and state assembly members to pilot the affairs of Nigeria for another 4 years. Visit INEC office to get your PVC, which is your power to elect credible leaders. Say no to electoral violence. Say no to vote buying. Say no to thuggery before, during, and after the elections. This message is brought to you by MLC TV.
suggested in the motion.
From 31st January to June 31st, 2023, say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it.
Do you know what it takes to lead? Do you understand what is politics? Do you have issues concerning the way we play politics? Do you have reservations about some political mugu? Do you want to serve or be served? Do you want to contest? Do you want to occupy any political office or be in charge of your world? All this and many more are what we discuss right here in the political arena. A program where we trash and arrange, condemn and commend, celebrate and blame all that play out in politics. Do not be told. Join me, Warner Valuable, every Saturday by 7 p.m. to throw more light on why we play politics the way we do and how we can play it better. Political Arena, building a government of the people and for the people. Don't miss it. Welcome back from the break, and now to news on the foreign scene. New Zealand's incoming Prime Minister has vowed to protect his family from what he called the abhorrent abuse that his predecessor, Jacinda Ardern, received while in office. Ms. Ardern announced that she was quitting as the country's leader on Thursday, citing burnout. Chris Hipkins, who was speaking on Sunday after MPs from his ruling Labour Party voted unanimously to endorse him, said a small minority of Kiwis were responsible for abusing Ardern. He said he realized that putting himself forward as leader meant that he was public property, but that his family were not, and he wanted his children to have a typical Kiwi kid life. Hipkins, 44, was New Zealand's COVID response minister and has extensive political experience. He is set to be sworn in as Prime Minister on Wednesday after Ardern formally steps down. Uganda will on Tuesday start drilling its first oil well in the Kingfisher oil field, the state petroleum agency said. It is hoped that by 2025, the first of a potential 1.4 billion barrels of oil will be pumped from wells across the Midwestern region. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, PAO, said on Twitter that the country marked another milestone and a step closer to first oil with the launch of the drilling of the development and production wells of Kingfisher oil fields. President Yoweri Museveni is due to officiate the event. The Kingfisher oil field is operated by China's Sinopec, while the second Tilenga oil field is operated by France's Total Energies. And now to stories in sports. We now join Jonah Malik for the sports update.
And on sports updates, Frank Lampard has been sacked by Everton and is no longer the head coach of the club. The British football star was fired on Monday after Everton board made a final decision on the English coach's future at the club following a run of poor performances recorded under his tenure. Everton are currently battling for survival in the Premier League as they sit in 19th place in the relegation zone with only 15 points after 20 games. They have won only 3 matches this season and lost 11 games so far. Frank Lampard was told his fate during a phone call with Everton's major shareholder Farhad Moshiri after a 357-day spell in charge of the club. Frank Lampard's sack had been long coming, and speculation had sprouted up on Sunday after Everton's 2-0 loss to West Ham United a day before, with Frank Lampard reportedly in a meeting with Moshiri, chairman Bill Kenwright, and Everton's director of football, Kelvin Thirlwell. Everton fans has also called for his sacking, which seemed inevitable, putting more pressure on the club's management following their poor performance during this season. Still on sport, the League Cup, also known as the Carabao Semi-Final Cup, begins on Tuesday in England. Newcastle manager Eddie Howe says reaching the semi-final isn't enough as he prepares his team to face Southampton in the League Cup semi-final on Tuesday, bidding to end a decades-long trophy drought. The Magpies reached the first League Cup semi-final for 47 years by beating Leicester City earlier this month to set up a clash against Saints, who dumped Manchester City out of the competition. Newcastle have not won any domestic silverware for 68 years, and Howe, who takes his side to the South Coast for the first leg tie on Tuesday, does not want to fail next month's Wembley final in sight. Opponents Southampton are under new management following the appointment of Nathan Jones in November, and Howe was full of praise for his opposite number in the dugout. Second leg will take place in Newcastle on January 31st. And that's Sports Update on MLC TV News. I am Malik Jonah reporting.
Thanks, Jonah, for the update. And on to entertainment news. We now join Joy Dada for the entertainment update.
The Muslim rights concern MUHAMMADU has called on the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission to ban the latest single by Street Hop act Portable, stating that the song encourages ritual killing. Portable released a new single on Friday, 20th of January titled "Hukudu Ritual," on which he addressed the desire for wealth and asked those who wish for money to resort to diabolical means to get money, as that is the general conclusion for all human beings, irrespective of their actions. According to MUHAMMADU, the song will encourage ritual for killing amongst the youths, who make up Portable listeners and over whom he holds significant influence. MUHAMMADU director Isaac Akintola, in a statement which was released on Monday, 23 January 2023, stated that the song is an open invitation to criminality and demanded that the government had to curb the negative effect it has on the youth. MUHAMMADU calls on all men of goodwill, all mothers in Nigeria, Muslim, Christian leaders to rise against the madness called Yahoo Yahoo and ritual killings among young ones, whose ambassador has just released his horrendous song in their praise. He said, "Hukudu ritual is nothing but an eulogy to glorify and elevate the names of ritual killers to high heaven." MUHAMMADU said the album called for immediate action from Nigeria's traditional rulers as the custodian of traditions. Brendan Fraser has been nominated for an Oscar for his first lead role in a major film for 12 years in The Whale. Tuesday Best Actor nomination caps a comeback for one of Hollywood's former leading men, who has admitted he was left in the wilderness for a decade. The Whale has now led film studios and stands to re-evaluate the Mummy and Judge of the Jungle star talents. Fraser plays a reclusive and morbidly obese English professor who wants to reconnect with his estranged daughter. The returning US-Canadian actor, 54, told BBC News he hoped the feature will help to end the bias against those who live with obesity. I am Joy Dada, reporting for MLC TV.
Thank you, Joy. And that is the size of our package today. Join us tomorrow at this same hour to watch our news as we give you updates on happenings within and across the globe. Don't forget to also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Malachite TV, and like and follow our Facebook page, MLC TV. Instagram handle MLC TV 2021 and Twitter at MLC TV 1. For your event coverage, information, contribution, adverts and sponsorship, please call any of the numbers displayed now on your screen. It's Malachite TV, reaching everywhere and informing everyone. My name is Morno Balagobo. Thanks for watching. Please continue to be your brother's keeper to build a united and peaceful society together.